Amunyina Masisa Majibra, extended version of Badwam on Adom TV, Multi TV. Dr. Richmond Kwame from Pon, Financial Literacy Foundation Africa, Executive Director, Doc One, Sisasuna, Dr. Edu Susa Cordias, Economics, and also Wanina and Koma Idea, a media budget review, and all. Maybe I'll be doing the BTS one, but ever cost free SHS and somebody by them because you move your journey, so you're journey. Yeah, and I mentioned that do as a why not support government in that aspect if you're capable? Just continue being capable. Then those who are not capable, the vulnerable, the less privileged need to
and implementation, data, data, 7 million implementation be a bit difficult now. It be a that should be the be they are fine. So that should be the be creative for to be say why bet me to be other fast sika say to free SHS fund mu near finance fine, it's a nice idea. But maybe I mean just say dear. It doesn't support it. It doesn't support it at all. Now, yenya other benefits. Now, you share the success story of free education. People have questioned the enrollment. I think say Bimswaka say just 9% over last year. But education, enrollment in Kwa ain't yet the only advantage of education. And I'm a boss who say even the use of certain skills. So obey a driver, taxi driver, or a mechanic. Imagine say nipa office or car or real secondary education. Imagine. Say nipa or your mobile phone screen. Yes. That is what we are talking about. That is what we are talking about. It is true. Now I can always say, in the literature, it is true, free education. The enrollment can increase up to about 80% if the base is low. There's if condition. If the base is low. If the base is high, you can get maybe about 40-30%. But and you're limited to enrollment. The benefits, and you're limited to enrollment. That's the point I want to make. Say, nipa 1,000 now qualify some make secondary school. And a beer, sika 17, a beer 200 into minko by any free no 200 abeka 800 na 1,000. You don't expect say I free nti omo qualify nyina megum because you must pass the BEC meboa. Yeah. Yes. Ghana system is here no and yes smooth progress. And yes sir we GSS na okwa secondary school you must pass. Nti I free. That's the enrollment no anko say they will see penna numbers down kwa. It doesn't mean say the system has failed. It means say any panel a pass no we are talking about numbers. And nipa 1,000 na pass for qualify for secondary education. You don't expect say all of a sudden are you free nti yenye need 2,000. No more fairly be sitting in Ombegum. These are the things that as a country we need to see. Enti ye can social protection. Yeah. Free SHS no. Makase poverty, the multi-dimensional poverty indicator. One of them is education. Oshe Human Development Index, World Bank and the United Nations, they assess among we as a Human Development Index. Ye onema miensa pe any day. Health, education, income. Health, education, income. It is education nya. Nipa wo mu owo man no say sabi omu India na nkwa animu a sa index no be score low. Sa index dey assess we are seeing na Ghana will score low if nipa sabi odipa wo man no 15%. O man 15%. Obe so ye train, obe so ye railway. Why na ko twi train no? Why na ko yi sika wo mu? Why na ko me pese be yi sika kra be ye ka digitization. I'm ensure because we have digitization, somebody must be in the control room. Until be a call Accra Technical University or Kosuya this control nyoma. Wafano, tow boot, on air control room. Near Fano. Enti a debate in India. Odom say secondary education, it will gradually in the next 5, 10, 15 years, it will eliminate this informal sector. I can want some. Bisam say I didn't hear. I want to make Omo ton ade okwan. Ton ade o traffic light. Omo nyina kan informal sector no. we share the technical definition of job and employment here. They are employed. Okay. Now within the employment, only about 80% here informal. Now obia ko school, a secondary school, the emphasis on tertiary, or we secondary school. We are sure so before I saw the vicinity so I could not quite. We are sure.
Wait to me, I didn't know.
We are sure. With a dignity. Rather the person, because with the advancement of more IACC, a time will come in the country. Yes. That's my belief. That is my strongest belief.
Because I was going to say, university.
I'm coming. I'm making a point. Sir, with time, Obiton tomatoes, sabi, because yeah, my men on one of her, but sabi, Obiton tomatoes, chinies or jum or ton. Sebia neba akwa secondary school area. My men no cry percent about Babetran in chain, a ton tomatoes, you know what. Yes,
that is true. Advanced tomato selling.
Exactly.
Okay, let's have also dog, but to say. Hello.
I'm here domo bibi aboko me hoye. Oso won to say me.
Boko aja wona aja. Wako ben achimota fo nti. Ye so wa ha. Nti mami mu say no ma etoti e kwose o mra che bedwam.
Sisi ni de ni na ye twen se owura kanoforiata oye. Minister for Finance, Obepio Fia say na Omonya de Jimedi na Shisheso. Senior communication no 10 o'clock and none up at 10 o'clock, which is just about 35 minutes away. NIA Ura Kenoforiata, he's supposed to be in the house. I'm beginning the necessary processes no. Parliament had here Nema Bebri assistant. Even chamber honum crying kunyana sisi honum ni adiana ye be a frame. Sene beya say MP bit nasia, quite a crab down in a young contem. Yeah, sure him say usually chamber na if any pabe 275 now. And ne and ya dear nipano bet na honum bedrusa, just about half of that because of a year the omoye omoyin kunyani be a frame no the omokano social distancing. Sene beya MPB na baby on Ben Yankododo. Nini na measures be ora Professor Michael Kwe announcing enra. Efa the omoye send beya MPs net nasia. There are 275 MPs. Additionally, no, some more budget review be say na ministers do no monya MPs no almost some back into the chamber. Diplomatic corps, ambassadors near the money na moba representatives from various groups. Omunina yadi omo ebabe pia wa hasi nenso so no ennedie enya de a nini na ekoso after a while no ye be hesi ye betumi ewurem kakra ne akwa head ye ekoso won inside ha connections near na dos wa hasi na nante na around na dos bebre nti no ye nini na toto din a ye be re inside ne akwa head ye ekoso no nenso so no expectations near very huge more minority side no almost say they don't expect anything new. Ora Kwame Agboja oye MP for Daklu, ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee. Na menene twetwen komosisia or purchase Ora Kanoforiata over the last 4 years. Wama promises upon promises. So show up for Parliament now, but who difference bia or no they are expecting anything new. Samsuna do do na expectations no say here something in the region of 17.2 billion Ghana cedis. And a year amount Parliament approving in relation to COVID-19 expenditures. A yes free IMF on the mobile, that's about $1 billion, which is something in the region of 6 million Ghana cedis. Scanny being swear free a stabilization funding, something around 1 billion Ghana cedis. Scanny be free World Bank, Bank of Ghana for some about 10 billion Ghana cedis. Now can you in Aboma coin in the region of 17 billion. MPs no do na hear him say over the last 3-4 months a Parliament approve says kanema ora kanoforiata no then or they are expecting that form of accountability and then those on the majority side also are making the point these are very difficult times the finance minister kanoforiata you be expect to be rolling out strategies to keep the economy in good shape even as we approach the upcoming elections that's what has been happening here. MPs no do na nyamba ye twense omuni na be PP na speaker nso so abana oro oforiata ba na omodeji media na hihye so wa.
I see, but observation of protocols was one something saying Hello, Utemeka.
Yeah. Looks like it's being enforced to the latter. Okay. Announcement Professor Michael Kwe ma enrano na even members of the public crowd see mo bi amba hasi or see on person bia ebe masia or premises hasi, and also so looks like that is not happening. Even the media, and so they are restricting media representatives to Nipa Bay 25, and also so they are enforcing it very, very seriously. Looks like that's fine idea. The protocols are being observed. Ora Michael Kwe Kasenrano no patch say Parliament, the people's representative. In Nensu Saka finance minister, the expectation then is all eyes will be on the house. All TV stations will be carrying what is proceeding live. Or per se, who a situation where MPs best serve as a very good example to the rest of the public in terms of how they should ensure COVID-19 related protocols when it comes to the enforcement. And our caution MPs, number say, person who be bia and ne say bia MP bia sorry akwa kochiana damfu bi ana obi ne na ma ode ne nse so table muni ade na osi person who be bia sa and ne the indication is that MPs will go ahead and abide by that. Send a bear media no ebetumi akoso one.
Okay, so on the
train that's fine idea. The protocol is being enforced. Now your train says sit in Nankasa start here saying and the bekwa na yes sure him say amo was almost bewa around obi abesha the face mask. Now ensure the educate social distancing so abra media ne bekoso.
So on the part of the minority no one concern yen kuntebu or sika ababa system nim, and on the part of the majority is also say we are not in good times, but on modern bono they are extra any power. These are the two issues only in extra any man paying. Minority is about accountability.
Minority for no are making the point say the last 3-4 months Parliament are approving for the finance minister, particularly because of COVID-19 related issues now. More like unprecedented in the nation's development. So, within a space of 3 months, more than 17 billion Parliament be approved for the finance minister to spend. It's a very huge amount. It has to be properly accounted for. There's been reactions even from the majority. Dr. Mark Asibe-Eboa, our MP for New Job and chairman of Finance Committee, our no patch say, accountability, Ukumkuma, a auditor general Juma, and your finance minister Juma. For him on the majority side, no sansu no huno. The main expectations, then say specific policies about Boasen Ebea, Ghana, economy be stay afloat despite the bruises the nation is suffering from COVID-19. Those are his expectations in terms of what the finance minister will be focusing attention on in there. So about a deliver statement now. But those on the minority, almost accountable because someone who say Skabe according to system Nima. Minority for a number of allegations, some patches scanning be poor ban when it comes to stimulus packages, many Adiana, a call for MPP cronies. That's what Urak Bojai and others are alleging. Almost say this is an opportunity for the finance minister to show say scanner more approving man no and yadia or say no and or using a basabasa. Those are the main areas. No, I assure him say finance minister no every delivery now. Oviye budget statement delivery in nena ochina house ni betina say but bibi gidi biankoso but from Monday no house ni be debate statement na minister no eba be deliver no over a period of about a week to 2 weeks and no na house no will go ahead and probably approve whatever revision the minister may bring in terms of various estimates no just a brief background no we are necessary. I am be budget review never be necessary because in every year, no, the say the budget for the year, no, is read usually the preceding year, November last year, and a Minister for Finance, Kenofriata, a 2020 budget, no, a buy. Now after like 6 months into implementing that 2020 budget, now we get the approval for back in November last year. No, this is an opportunity for him to come and update his figures, expected inflation rates, expected revenue, and the expectation is you do a lot of review of some of those figures, no, and or deliver a budget review statement, and also any other policy directions or any approval from cabinet for. Then he would announce that as well on the floor of Parliament. Okay,
so finally, time by the finance minister, Era Mashivejo.
The expectation is that the sitting itself will begin at 10 o'clock. Sometime like 15 minutes to 10, he probably should be in the house. For now, it means everyone will stick to the time as expected. But it's all expected to kick off by 10 o'clock. But
okay.
it may delay a little, as has usually been the case here in Parliament.
Okay, so multimedia, this year, Mr. Obambo, a key to us. Observe the protocols, social distancing, fire Juma. Still bring us the tough interviews. Name observe the social distancing. Yeah, that's Gabu. Back to you. Finance Minister didn't come away. No, didn't come away. Thank you so much. Back to studio and say, and now I say, immediately Kuntebu, ebi studio every woman, every papa, but I just say come away. Doctor Kasapi about free SHS, no. They're thinking that alternative of we are able to change and infant change. Or my reasons for that, because I say, am I out to Mponyano? You cannot base in Punto based on elite people, just 15% of people just having that insight. Into how do we change from that thing, if only we want to develop, as we are thinking of? How do we move? Because NDC, amongst their review, they need the details of the review. But targeted class, a bit more possible. Nipa do do na say regions being as if for a bit more possible. Said day ni board in share no musu say a bit more possible. Because a review has its positive and its negatives. Inti hwewe yedika e ade see twema. Free such as
David. So so her long term medium term vision now o project here now. And Newman 9 now o project here so Newman no restoring the economy, transforming agriculture, strengthening social protection and inclusion. And a free association. Now, say, because strengthen inclusion in social protection. One of them is human resource. Critically, in fact, only development crowd, but yes, development bit more sustainable. I hear a nipa, omunim dear, and omuntia say, and can come about social development. Now, free SHS is just one of the channels of bringing the human resource base to that level. Another, TVET, any technical education. Enti some be ma free SHS no agina normally TVET ne ne metete sansa no dwuma ne ade no so on be hyemu kena enti some ye kase ye twam so mind there then you forget development na ye pe no because chireme on mind bia ye so ye on mind watumpo literacy levels below the numbers we are looking at. There is none like that. Enunti no say emfa ne say the infrastructure no mpo economic infrastructure ne esi hosisia near per se even infrastructure and your year. A young grofo almost any DNA de con kind of multi infrastructure and they are two on home ye. So my acquire for nim has is here. Nasa nipa do na any nipa, Yamia Madon Matimia Co school and Nasa Motion San Juma, no sorry and pa acquire BB because of the Omanyantia. Bibi to ABC or Batimia Kojana crash tire now, why BB say quino. And then the infrastructure is not still on a good foundation. Timidity is a Ghana phone and energy to say. Free education a year. Name the American name free education shouldn't just be the senior high. Free education should be also on the TVET side. So that obi onum cry school na nkasa. In Sanjuma obi or T school cry and banana yamshishino. Onye na so omoka ho. That is great. So omoka ho there then that is great.
TVET omoka.
I don't even do my free.
Me hu ne sa omoka ho there.
No more kasa de runa she.
So I'm count there, then it's great. So we between twin school for.
I listen to the debate. No more kind enrollment, you know.
No, but secondly, the TVET can hold the Omoka.
Omoka there near measure budget.
I'll say here because me who say no. The man who is progressive is going to bring them also. Now,
I'll be surprised if they are not included. I'll be so surprised.
Second there, then we are good to go. Now, you ain't keeping us any tina. Now, say debate, but say be who ekano kwan ever so
it's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Project in the area,
it's not sustainable. The developmental initiative be any Ghana Hanoma, ye musika betimi aso akwankro. But say here nkwan they are not so money ejitum so say bibi say fasade ho. Ekwan o Ghana nyina say ya nkepe. Enso ye ntimi mfa ye sika nye. E de na ye kobobo say na ye bibi from eskaba maneba. Education is one of them. In fact, see etumi mpo a ye betimi amana kodru tertiary. It should be possible at a point. So tertiary education shouldn't become a deterrent for a few. Now, the here is the entire target in here money then says a moment ever can see a target panel. na yamfa systems ansi ho ama obi antimi access the targeted no na afi enipa ketua bi o me privilege e na targeted no se mfa nse yepe awemfoma afi obo nse awemfoma no krampo no nyomo na e targeted no omo mutimi tua no omo na san go targeted no san konya free education
Cocoa scholarship
entisi etimi ya targeted na
amobro afo ne hia fo be wiye kwabra santia kojiri nyina
it is a targeted no quite targeted da obi angina chire ntwema minister for man na targeted obi angina chire ntwema ma CEOs and is good and yes adia they can find a very important way you bet me a set fund bia enipa be bre person mo nkasa disikatum ubetimi ni sezika na tum na show bia
okay the crack di page mu yi they akoso sisi a report agapo they buy don kuma no de omo ni trimpo nyina asema sa bebu nkunta reja didi no na bebu nkunta titru sika baba free wona so ya se ho ne covid yankasa foto aye boy sika batutom ne nso ase a agencies ahodo nso aso yi mu bebu sa nkunta de mai yem passing bia dom kase no susu se ebre wo mu kwa de nya bre papa o ya boy ho modin pa iti ye de nsema e be kire se aboy ho modin any other say so sa batumanim yenye ne dey say
yeah so who public office no because we boom kunta so oni watem who public office on minimum so man panyin ko agitum say kunta buo de ho hia all campaign was say he will protect the public purse until all protect public purse and always there a mid-year budget review it comes with accountability
because
until
any encounter parliament if you are not ready to
understand why the accountabilities are isolated from the whole discussion.
Because
the review comes with accountability.
But say no says because and had the bunkunte
okay, so okay, I know your parliamentary processes, but me, what I'm expecting is say budget budget not covered my okay, and the review no could also mean say you're revising the figures. Now, but what is key now is COVID no. Already, what the coronavirus alleviation program by also per 9.5 billion cedis. Your confer be free world IMF $1 billion, which is exchange rate in about 5.7. 230 million from stabilization fund. What the background has come about 1.2 billion cedis. Nimi yonunkwa almost 7 billion. And your KGB or World Bank, and your Corona COVID-19 fund there amount for this carbon. So you must account. Until because I account for it, me sure say a big deal.
Okay.
Anna, the American council say, only say, I think April, May, June or so, free business no, can I say free electricity, ni free water no. Any aduani achiche during the lockdown no. Ni nyina no, I was say oka ho asem. Because projections here match no na na afi na onse corona na afi na aba nti ye nhunu baby ye kan kwesi nti we dey ye ne corona na tena about 4 months 3 or 4 months nti I was so be ka kire ye say 9.5 no based on your estimates in March no is that the 9.5 still okay and as ye mfa bi nka ho
okay
nti say no we dey adru.
Okay, Richmond. But yeah, reporter, Kafui Justice or Central Region, senior TVETs under GES are enjoying free SHS, but yes, those under Employment and Labor Ministry are yet to enjoy it.
Okay.
Brewer MVTI principal have been advocating for free SHS as most of the students sometimes had to go and work to raise funds to come and pay fees.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a certain level of enjoyment, but in its entirety, as a okay, so wrap up for me.
Enti no me sa medium term adena na work because no na me can see strengthening social protection when you can free assistance. Last 2 years revamping economic social this year no the estimations of economic social infrastructure no ye nya ne se ne pen no. Enti no ho be touch ma and reforming public service delivery institutions. And non digitization up vice president around so you be port near the digitize, but it's just a storm in the ocean. Say a percent you timi drive this medium term na yemfa the entire public service. Senior Minister Office name said jama transformation of the public service in Eshe. Near ye nyina preko to go. If you wanna me back my expectation for minister and payer. Emra no share, PFM no share. Say you could do at least by 31st July there. Also timiba now be my the review of your outcomes. Whether so to me achieve and I went to me achieve. Now you're calling for the next 6 months. What do you want to do differently? Particularly for now, say COVID situation, assessing BBR, assessing your revenue expectations, assessing your macroeconomic outcome expectations, assessing even expense tickets. And to be BBR assessing, and to also a team who accountable effort COVID no the edibe shame anyhow it has changed almost everything you are doing. Then you can give us some projections. Remember, I said in the midst of winning and so in about 5 months' time, you create elections. And also say a significant expenditure, even though it was taken care of in the budget. My expectation is say Sabre is a minister bar. Also, Timmy who say how aligned are we with our medium-term strategy, given disruptions are about because of COVID-19. Now, how are we able to still continue with our growth agenda? Because if projection for GDP is 6.8 growth, now you're looking at about 1.6, 1.2, 1.5. Ghana, Bank of Ghana say about 2. So even if it's 1.5, it just said there's going to be contraction. Contraction is not so bad. We are going to have a problem with job losses. We are going to have a problem with employment. We are going to have a problem with incomes. And untino so utimi mayehu a kwan we fa so aso saa nema we nyina no a eboa maye so ye ne informal sector na di nkomo a yetimi kire mu se ma woni nko ha because aban no mpuntu nyuma aban ni sikasem ne na ade obespend ne ha na efa enti wo ye bibia so hwesi ana so hwesi.
Okay, so just in President Akufo-Addo directs Communications Minister to suspend GBC DTT directives. The President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, on Thursday, 23 July 2020, directed the Minister for Communications, Honorable S. Lawusu Ekufo, MP, to suspend the implementation of the directives given to the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation in connection with the reduction of GBC's channels on the digital terrestrial television platform, pending further consultation with stakeholders, and is signed by the Director of Communications, Office of the President, Eugene Ayin. So we don't have to expect any freebies, right? Free payment extension, water extension,
no
freebies.
No.
Wow.
Because
economy is
because since I want for pay yourself. Yeah, you know because freebies it was necessary for the lockdown. Lockdown, no.
You did that so far.
Lockdown, no. Any part be breath fear.
Yeah.
And let me give you a might be bread what they call stimulus package by during the COVID-19.
Yeah.
US almost printed sika $1,000. Emma will be a credit will be account. Now, why I admire the Nipomutu President Akufo-Addo for say Mawonsuya okay one of the address was say and you be there why it was a very strong statement and I was happy about it because say Ghana has 1,000 cities here.
Exactly.
Yeah, better say
data no has a problem.
Obi be give 5,000 aboso. Voter registration.
Adiana no cross.
Voter Adiana kwa yachicha kwa.
But omo ye parliament say such a bia okay, is a mood the whole year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Space
1 meter.
My idea. That's any packet 12 crowd be come back you menu.
I'm say guests no omo be limited guests.
And the minister some people 130 you say.
So because omo expanding, omo chise nkunya no kwa achire. First baby ananka former presidents mo ba mo chache am say ho nyina omafa.
Okay, so Dr. Richmond Kwame Frimpong, Financial Literacy Foundation Africa Executive Director, and afi Dr. Edu Owusu Kodie or economist omo na no pay one abebo me nim say adia doctor Mr. Doctor Iraka no Furata Kasewia ombe wo ha dia so muni ha na chese ya me aduma wakase wi ne sabesa no mo shiachina na edi nkomo iye pa but happy birthday enkoma Jacqueline Brago a fresh graduate GIG. Wishing you the best in your life from Jackson in Tiamwa. Me that's it. Me call you. Me waha. But Oma ending on a good note. I thought freebies so. Freebies no than Keja. PJ one more zampa. No light be no water be.
Freebies no. What the core businesses.
Oh dog.
Oh yeah, more businesses.
Yeah. But that was your cover.
The realization of how powerful digitalization can be, and we're going to put a lot of money into that.
Sir Minyankoe, this is the extended version of Badwam on Adom TV Media Budget Review. You're a doctor for young, energetic, and an intelligent men, and I didn't come on to pay. Richmond Kwame Frimpong, Doctor, Financial Literacy Foundation Africa, and I Dr. Edu Susakodie, and also the economist, and also anyone at you come just by some few minutes gone by. I brought to say a 12 common so and say, but major drink transfer and Sacra and Satnas Yedin Commonia Bijafo, different Edin Commona fee, Yera a Emra Shibijum. Sir, Oneme Eya Juna, also your expectation. The Ushu say, and Yera Keno Furiata, and they Ura Emrashe Bijum, Akudin Como. Any moment from now, the best social commercial Bijum, Usushi anything, a dear Nanka, Unya Yanka, Ujidis and Kobekan Wasem, or media budget review at the amount 0302-211-701, Ecosi 4. Any Dom Kumano, one Nipa, a friend in Yam for Richard the Champions, who be doing come over Zoom. Now for Richard Hayagba, and so Abatanasi was in the and Como. I was saying, Shannon, say, Bibi do Akomaso, who Susan Kebiti Makodiamawa. In this uncommon 0302-211-701, Ecosi 4. And the entire desk extension abano, a catcher, a year onimian for Keno Furiata, Echo and Mashibijum. By now, I believe, say, or Hoda, especially a reporter, and I can say, or Munshi Shemono, non du pepepe, na Bibia Adanakwema, HSA, a dear, only sa and common. I first order if you need to call live Parliament, a man who dear cost one, and then the packet to be, Nanipa Kumabi Kwaneba Mashibijum, teach one atoms from. Mashibija phone and Kasar, Kumabi, yes, and train the word you want to Kumabi, it's a brave woman, and yet normal times, Anna, you will into her house, the observation of protocols, and then your mabia speaker says, and then Mashibija for Minya Quenya or Mashibija one, no maybe any quals of modernity could be asking in a show my bra at the and Comono, send out Susie as call 0302-211-701, Ecosi 4, 0302-211-701, 701 Osha, Adom Kumano, one day also on radio who you say, they want to share the mass of who you say, and they swap for she seek a seminary into Yawano, obey meeting Kuntabu, Abba, a bright cow, he hear me, Sikahodo, and Nipa, Dodona, the Abasoya say, a fake COVID fund and so on, and seminal, as a son of Cassica community on Edia and the Aka, and you own the Omutim point and opinion and say, swap for Ura Hunyanano. Ayem kuntabu hon komo ana obebu dom kase no so kire se ebra enimi ewomi nye bra ye papa sa ne mo musu se omode mo aso ani ana mo sa de exciting moment so beka eye Ghana for ho ne nioma on trimpo ye ko anim no omo sa de beka ho nti akoy afanu no obia adwene obia trimpo obia susuye edan so kra but ni nyina betwa enche bia bra eye minister finance akasa kojo damwa machi apom ti sen
ya mo menua na ojo
kojo nyame adom boko yetio
we dia boko me tia no fa program no na em de se doctors no mo no ba kon kasa in favor of free education na free education ya tie hu debate na ya na me di hu ya se mpanfo a bibi wo mo nsem ho mo kasa etie free education ti se who use adura as you go any no side effect and then debate then pa na obey the access to education because we be apart na room question and then that you fit ma university I far better than say you be can say school then you want you man quarantine na finish see then we and sana quarantine ma school If you have the past, I'm paying for it, and 10 be almost support free education. Maybe I am support because a tia in Creaciano and a here for more, a bit, a cancer room with car. So I can't say, never from for pizza and Cusco, being a pizza Cusco. By answer, and so on my yama talk in Creative Bitima will be crack a chat, free education, my bra, only cap rank on the property and the school fee.
Okay, my man was something called Elijah Machapo saying.
You Adom, be a coboko.
The Namia see it you.
May not pay me fair, Master may have make it through free education in homes and semi. And then Cranny Pete, if you are Munsi, would you this school or Conaqa or Koya? A man is a free education, you know, could and any public be not mining for one copy. Then and then the Kinograta kind of parliament, I also with me accounted for BBA banning here. Within January, ABC delay women because COVID-19 since me buy any scout cattle what they bois ama the DBI ama mama more money be any time man. And they obey criminal say a man for register ama buy no send a man put a man put discount I say the moment loans and senior loans the between free dinikwa. It's also a man kind of rata or Timmy Ebu.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Patrick and so Kasefri, good morning.
Opening Cassia, me Pacho, me Casefri, and San Busumo, Namado, so I thank you.
Okay,
Lukuma said Menchiao, it's answered Minim Yidin and Yakobo Swaba. I have Kenya, also now Mrs. Sia, which is here.
Okay, Patrick, yeah, that's it. Yet you.
Kakra me can say, can Ofuriata no passem. Ebra, Obabema, budget nimu and some. Na tabre na yade kudiawu a ye friend covid na emai na o ma ye sa budget na ye dey so o mo planning say bibi ti say sa yade na abaninti no ekwa bia o befa so a o mo be monitor na yade no o ma konkurase ne afiefiem akwakoye sa I would say akwa testing kofo ni nyina no na sa budget no ne nka no PP si on betoye ni nyina budget na anka no yes 3 months yemfa light bench water bench na ni nyina na nka ho what ya say na so akoba se yemma nkofo sikanka kanka mo fantre wo mo bodwafo eno so na nka no but na wo be you know so oba na so oba be yesika kakra de kwa koboa da be bia na nkom disika na ekro no a Ghana for su nkonyunu no because na budget obeye na ni nyina nka ho e na omode aba be ka ho nti bread say yes.
Okay, you better ask Henry sana dinity. Okay, Henry, good morning. Apom to say.
Good morning.
Pacho yeti.
Good Pacho boko de.
Nyame adom boko.
We de wadawo ma me stre. Anopa mani agye o program no ho pa we. Wabadwafo nyina Madam Wasepa kasa ne muda ho na abia ba ko na me person ka me busa ene wan hye dan tache but ni nyina ewo effect on the economy me person me hunu wo Ghana ha na me de be example me Africa capacity but Ghana in a steady case see e ko fa ka ba Ghana na ye hwe see ye duty say if the US na ba at the end of the day no o ye the one dey be multiply by the dollar rate a work on minimum at that moment. Oh my enemy, person busa unko for more. Say that thing, is it wise? Is it not having a repercussion on the economy? Emanemwa. Me person me stramo media me economist.
Okay,
me person me who have the no.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Good question. On beyano edia Mauli Machapop saying.
Pacho, good morning, mine.
Yeah, Apom to say Mauli.
Pacho Nyadmo, Casafita Quadi, could be a friend from
Yet you.
And Pacho, Namudia di Casa says, so could face church, father said, school done in Yana would teach you, and for some thing, say, worship. But so, if he said the fake case in the year, now can you not better infrastructure, Colano, the crime back on a Western grade. I bet sure a few weeks. I had Papa Mammy, or Wabwami, Miss Mutumi, attraction tertiary level. Nampacho, Mr. Say, the infrastructures no, more at the same doctor coming. Only 15% are your movie school, your movie so much infrastructure no. Nanke ya school maybe another first and say what to say there will be a call tertiary level. We say there no win or behavior will be taxi, will be true trotro and also obey own informal sector business here. If you think I had papa, but my mom can say there will go school maybe we use school them.
Okay, point well made. Yeah, for Kobna anyway. Marcia Kobna.
Maybe I'm saying it may be only be a certain working. In this hour of a shake, I might have to be to her, or Sako with him. No, sir, I could say we work with her. Only Musika, a cool. Yes, Casua, and to my uncle.
Okay, come let us see. Quickly, ever call na any Richard Champon, NDC Mashibijani, Bia East, Akochuchi, Ayenko. Rich, also a member of the Finance Committee. Rich, Otemenka, good morning, Mikome, who said, Mashibijam, for you never talk, you know, on one day we pay answer. A phone to say.
Adom, I did share the home be in
I see, very relaxed. I don't come one come Mashibijam who be an
I just speak and say, we have 140 per chamber. I
see.
It is a what no one terminal on 140 no one. Either salvation TV so and also betting T. Say, Menoka say, more conference here. So, yeah, share the TV so you contribute a quota to nation building. Now, yeah, share and summer finance minister, the Barber to Jim. So, your expectation, our days a budget review.
Well, we are part of the finance committee or Mrashibijum. Now, Adeba Compese, Ibusan say, from January before COVID, now Abel was we over the Tikasem to 2 years, baby, and on the Ghana for qua. As a member of the finance committee, now I will show. As I about COVID in commercial, any expectation.
Oh, my mamma Sancha was shuffle. Namencha, the Pesha Sufunina, I'm saying a madam to China Coso. I enter Basabasabia or Via East, and Bia West. No marketing kitchen and a Coso, but a part of the game. The best Asra furniture on Mondo Nabesi form. Now, yet my boy be home by no be too much anything. So what kind 2020 budget now? Minister no kind of budget in me say we build enough buffer to meet external shocks. So I'm not covenant as someone yamai. Our catcher say over 3.5 months of import cover. Say to be able a berry na ahokyere bi aba say ye nya sika free baby adwuma bi ankoso a osoma miensa ene enenum di na otwe no di ye man no sika betim de aba ho bra ansa no bi beso ya sene waso ya sene esa budget na no ka say the total revenue wa project for 2020 no is 67 billion. Now none of Saka say after 67 billion about spending 85.9 billion. That is Ibedia Isikana Manabro, so I found a deficit of 18.9 billion. Our 2020 budget. It will can say Yabedi now buffer. Now, Ibetime ADC at Renchen be about TV. No beer himself, COVID Baby, and can Ibetmas are no copy say and maybe bedroom. But March in my buy a cruise to border and started every IMF for her. A child said no statement in our budget is misleading because now minister and see a baby now buffer there. Gain a see ya, Yentimian share humble so me and Sana ever quack and will be a better more. Minister also can when the budget in say a year growth, a GDP growth, no, the target is 6.8% for 2020. Menoka say was revising no at about 1.5% of GDP. Inflation was setting no 8% plus or minus of 2. Menoka say inflation a 11 point something, a 11 plus a 12%. It is America say the target the minister and setting or 2020 budget no. It would be anywhere a year massive. And our price of projecting say fan about $66.76 per barrel. Ancrebiano dollar no is 66.76. Menoka say and I'm $41.40 per barrel. The choice of forecast no me any no. It would be anywhere at Merden. A year juma. It will say COVID no about creative problems. Ama mind na Ghana can banka COVID no apple ama. Let's say so target a minister no statement ho nyina no nka onya do betime den achieve. Nka what the issue is say or say capital expenditure 2020 about spending 9.3 billion, 2.3% of our GDP. But spending 8.3 billion, only 2.1% of GDP. Some of the share memes here and they say capital expenditure no any goods and services. How does it prioritize your needs? Yeah, the here to see and sana yeah the fata. So the here being the your mind. Adwumafo ketua de okọ adwuma wankọ adwuma o ese etimi tu omoka interest payment on nkọ 21.7 billion 5.4% of our GDP ono ese aban etia bosia na ya bo no nti ho and am say 2020 no presidential and parliamentary elections expenditure ye dey etimi nwane emfiri ho nti say ka no ebo any security abambo ese ye den they bought a buy a quacotunya now. Memo, never betting me a chance to be a flashy program. I can't be a wabana send called Baba yet. Eddie Ababa win elections or Honona, and so pull breaks. Because I'm Reminoka say, who shall aggregate demand for goods and services are above for a year near my month for here no, above for because of more earnings and a secure bomb botomono, and also above for the Brejuma bomb. The echo shift. Echo shift so a man half salary. Eti ama for a much music liquidity any system. No consumption there are constant. I put a brosa. A man for the nobody did 3 times a day. And Korasun go school. Almost if you know the ditch is no ma. It's a won't follow. Another critical expenditure line I able to see healthcare. Almost any year, you know so be it's the year there, I said we increase expenditure on food. And I now say COVID-19 about social distancing no. I'm out for Kogalo hospital be because of congestion. Don't call private hospital. Me listen say private health facilities no. Almost everyone didn't change their buy them. No. In amount for spending so much, but they are earning little. So I'm expecting to say a buying every to me as supported the informal sector, the poor and the vulnerable. So by your to me atanase. It's another day bread and butter issue. You baby di atanase now your poor di about kind sanitation wise a bit more improve no. Now you to control the spread of COVID-19 now. I feel an infirmary nature no. I don't know about the Juma as I'm economy no abejina the NPC jina. The same way it's not about economic indicators, it's not about target, it's about survivor. I honestly they are doing United Echo. I know more my sure munyuma no. Quite many before so many Juma be aye. Someone says then ebetimi akoma no. The safety net now you provide no. How they say ye. No, Hosan Koya partisan issues. Because NBSSI 1 billion or more channel. Obi SEOPB at 5,000 Ghana cedi, 10,000 Ghana cedi. Office are not processing a document in every year. When you send it 2,000 and 1,000 Ghana cedi, in the mobile money wallet. So officer na or processing nipa no facility no onim po say ye trace kana dia ma asumasi ana obenten na obeden a policy that disbursement no I make sure say ye the year adwuma aboa ama faso abaso a create employment ama 3 years to come na etima ko tia bosana na sai ne na say ye hwe yes see but oman ni nyina so no gold prices so epic up eti omo mining industry banks more loan year mining activities you know those people can pay back those loans the financial sector okakra no beje sika the interest on remittances eba from because FDI no aba form lockdown our brochure baby bebre tama point in first second for brochure ma transfers ma it charges you know ebe form amount for home be chiro mo it we no na esi ehwe na mo so benefit them se ya pa no aye telcos no ka say o se me wo consensus but me ka sa wo fidie so through internet it is spending much on credit into all the say kwan be na be for say sika to more credit so the telcos are gaining more they are making profit but abayan hwe ni ye no ka say they are cashing in tie for to nkoto madwuma no so a asembisa ne say omobe absorb this tax na and omobe pass on to the ordinary person na the person eboa no it ma ban nya na dwene say telcos no nya mfaso emre ewo mu nto no ye de etobi kwoto mo so anya sa omo push the tax burden to you and I ye ho chire no ye na ho beside the asa chire more nti weni niema ese abandon na dwene de ekoso nti industry no so ba be support no production line ben ye kan wasani omo ye no smart ana and omo operate intoma because ene obienu won occasion dia ye nkwa yie dodo se first no ntobi kuta sika nkoto itoma onkoto atade mfa nko fashion eti ye hwe production line ye bitima support pharmaceutical companies omo ye nro ye beto nro ti say ye pomdin ese konkan ahon e say hwe sanitation ese ye improve sanitation young entertainment industry and a virtual concert no more it is for no when na obo concert am obi akwa tracy kama no also a collapse tourism industry nipa say na e baga na mpa obenya taxes dey from ho ntu kwa support omo a bisa ho say nipa say na didi we restaurant enemre and omoda hotel a ebenya infrastructure from ho ti sa balancing act we na say minister na deploy ni nyina ho say Samre Omudie is not about indicators, it's about slogan, it's about survivor. Yenyi ehuntum ne kind of kwenchire won say COVID-19 exposure is so bad. It has thrown our indicators out of gear. Let's maintain this trend of expenditure to keep our people in safety condition. A year or two to come no, it may contain the spread of COVID-19 na se nipa dodo nya ye ni bia. Ibenya hode ayedwuma asa aboa economy no abegina ne na so.
Honorable, but you seem to be blaming government entirely for the figures when to me achieve. Again, you end up by saying that COVID-19, you admit that I be shaking up the world and I shaking up economic foundations. And if Ghana is no exception there, why not throw the challenge to all of us? But rather pointing that finger, say, well, say before COVID, say BBC, a idea of mine, you bet me and national was swimming and some in as Sacrania Cosradia. So BBC and any that assurance now, I buy also the mind and say, if something should even happen, see about crack Cosradia, it should be beyond 3, 4, 5 months. And sign a Cosradia. And yet, idea is so abnormal, extremely abnormal next year. Until we compare that BBC, Ibetimashi, also be with me enemy.
No, yeah, then I'm the kind of COVID-19, no, I suppose to the entire economy, and you Ghana, the world economy. But what I say, but in our case, Usha, your first reported case in a March, Neboa. March now, in your case now, I mean, my paper say, what there to say yempe $100 million. It took us more than a month and still raise $100 million. Now see you need to Canada. It's a question that you say on say but for now you see you build over the years sir. E betimi also en sere bosom ne nsa ko bosom na no. Na sa ba fa no na ye boa na se na ye boa. It's too convenient to expose here. But I pay chance say minister enlist $100 million no. Nke dey otu ni se sika na kese estimate den. Eka. Na say ye ba fa no atimaso yi mu. Ansa na ye kwaji $1 billion FIMF na World Bank open na nke di san komo. But animani mi ya no cheche ansa na ye nya testing case po okromasi. And I'm not going to say, yes, your protocol requires a son because in any test case, you're running short of it. Many of them are consumables into what they buy the science of quarter of floor. Extra say, that statement in a work 2020 budget, I am misleading. And then I can say, going forward, we the political artists, you can't say that simplicity here. It's a problem to buy, your support to buy, and you say, I buy, I clear, I can't say much there, you know, more buying. They be near bit me too. When I make and now I see year of rules. But say now rules no be so in support rolling because I see improve your sanitation system. The question is can you remember anyway the na you be place aban be yamaye. You ensure no. You aduane ni. It's planting for food and jobs. Akuafo a omukwaje amu omuntua half no. I don't aban farmer omu free. I don't na settlers and aban farmer omu free. Na omunnu emo no na ansu bebre na yenye aduane na yeri disu ya import bill no say be ye benye aduane atrase asuso ya de ya no because me no ka say obabia isa omu was samples of person mo de call Kumase eco test because of financial constraint omu timi fanko adentia first quarter 2020 common fanko na abantimi release here it omu nye sika enfan tu sana mo no eti yentimi anso no spread no of the COVID-19 no ekwa animu nfa bebre enye yade na but then we come back to square one and then I am prioritize your expenditure lines no the here to see ye nyo no ye no wie na che ye na mafufura eno ni nyina betima kabom sampa COVID-19 na create problems ti ye nyina ye nkamom ni ye solve problem na create ma ye no all the engineers see ye the still only this ka assembly soon this head director to many be at the samples now or my gadano or mother call KCC for a test. This I will say, or more, ya chomo sample, one in our system, don't spread the virus. It's over 4 cases, before the results, but not 20 cases.
Okay,
and then you to put another pressure on our health system.
Honorable Richard Champon, Gina Hamame, Unia Richard Ayagba, or Hanim say. Ebedin komo kama ansana finance minister kasa but jina so ye try home minute ba ko pa ba ye ba Richard mo akwa ba nsema hodo a waka nyina no be de beto nanim na ono so nsema obetimi aka afa ono na ma yenkomodi na ye kama minute ba ko jina so ye kwa ba well yasaba medical you was to trace nchebia finance minister Ken Oforiatta the 7 beto media budget review nkomo ne chance na pano Yene Dr. Richmond Kwame Frimpong, Financial Literacy Foundation, Africa, Honor Executive Director, and Dr. Edu Osusa Kodie, economist, one of the kind of MA foundations, I would do, yet try and come on so I'm saying, Nimyan for a year, Richard Champon, Beer East, Mashibe Journey, on a ticket of the NDC, so via Zoom, Yanin Attrition Comoya, Twaso, Sansona, Richard and Yagbanso. Abeka is a rich akwaba. Well, I'm sure said the tintin in a comma shibijoba. Ye namu senior mashibijum, commoting in an say, Dom Kumani, dear, Adia Copeta Doma Comas. Sen Kuntabu, Ebeye Juma, or Mamamum, especially COVID fund ne in Swasia Odua, Monin free agencies Audo Honoma, Modi Edi Juma, Ebrewa, Yemi. The Tosubium, Uti, a year era Richard Champo, or a part of the finance committee. Or see money even before COVID, intimacy so, especially say Moka says or mine, your car here Mukana, a boa moyeno, a bit to make cry bosumi and sabusumi enum entem, and so COVID Adam Madapa say, and ya dear Sabo shed the crown, Mobitimi ediso. Eti, Mamma said, Minia, Richard, oh. Okay, good. You heard the Unia Richard Hagbasubeka a year no and then then I'll get back to you. Medasi piece or that's what so these are the issues. In Kontabu, Umbebun Kuntache, how you have managed the COVID fund, other support, financial support by how you have managed it. And I didn't think I'm catch say Bosumi Miansa Bosumi Numuntem say calling in Mubikrana. The my year or money sick as someone to any bit imagine they will be into a new baby.
Yo, my madase, na mechia ahefo, na ebra penin so mechia no. Say no cra kuntabu de ya de ba kwa say say to me ma Ghana fo nyina ehu ba de ba ko nso so a na wo ho nka say enuanom NDC fo hu even before am bisa sa question is say aban we aban bi a kuntabu odi eduma until from beginning up until this now at this point, you know. I couldn't be anywhere and I say sika aba my spending or Ghana food mono. If be anyone baga say yembu kunta yi. Inti so mo business question and to baseke breno beba mama that proper account no. Now the buffer one now okano reserve and I say import buffer no. Any idea o test say okay abanti use a finance regime who create that buffer. It's extreme condition. Now, it is also not a point to say you call on it just to demonstrate to somebody say, Makase made to me a sustain for 4 months into any near me, Debbie. A buffer, it has to remain that buffer until there is nothing else to do. Entina no should be known and math. I think Semi Bra Penny Onim. Entino anya no anya fini e ba be yusu na ni nyina asa na demonstrate say there be. You can approach say to me yibi, but it is not a situation say we have to experiment with it to show say ampa e wo ho ana say ni ho. Until that point, you know, is a political pointer omoye. But generally speaking, no, until say COVID by, you know, the economy na e wo mo no, anya the same economy they inherited. And that fact, and I saw Motias na a trap sa so. The economy, no, according to IMF, almost spring conference and no I'm COVID in virtually. The African director of the IMF say Ghana economy up until say COVID by, now the economy was moving in the right direction. In terms of all the indicators and the projections, say if I say economy no any at 6.8 GDP. Percent inflation and then all the import projections to reduce our import deficit. All those things were tracking in the right direction until COVID by. And the COVID near the biggest distortion in the economy. But the basis of our approach, is say, what are we going to do to get back to the track we were on before? Economy First of all, we have to contend COVID. You contend COVID. What are the necessary investments? These are the reasons why the approach to fighting the COVID has been said we must be in a position to show leadership. What they say, we must show leadership by making sure, say, one, Ghanaians must be sensitized to understand, say, COVID, the world over, say, cholera, yadia kano, and better. And to quite ben so near befa, a boy who by Sebaya, a Juma says, ye, near Magana Codinimuno, to me. No, and I'm penny for her, young cracker, yet to turn among say, a Mahbako school back because into moment traffic, affable. And yes, sir, now Yenya council, so the enforcement to ensure, say, Yenya Juma, but Yamboy who buy no. Those are measures we are taking to ensure that quickly, we'll get the economy back on track. And the Omo Canada, Nkomodie, say Bakoso, Akuntabo, Bakoso, but the key occupation, I think, say, you better go back to what Minister is likely to say. Now, but basically, the atmosphere Abina create, there shouldn't be any, unless say it will be your politics, to criticize or to even doubt. Say this government is capable of returning the economy.
Okay, so Richard, Richard the Champ Honorable, in Richard Ahiabe's words, if there's any best management in terms of and abnormal times that this administration are demonstrated without any questions, wanted to manage the situations and the times that we find ourselves in better off than probably anybody can think of. So, but for politics, there shouldn't be any talk about it. But if we want us to discuss in Kuntabua, yes, as I said, Kuntabua, because we say, nipa bi be so ya say nyumaku be so ya say eno purposely for ya unyenya ewom san Kuntabua he supports. But if it's about management they can there so can you hear me? Okay, so so we are back to the conversation. Then we'll zoom straight into what the Ghanaians should expect.
Yeah.
And the finance minister we admit say COVID through almost every country. The focus, the targets, out of gear.
Yeah.
The all manage to say Ghana manage kwano and easy, sir.
Enough.
Yeah. So as we go into 11 o'clock almost, our finance minister Becca say, what do you think are some of the issues who expect us over
I think the issues, meaning, but the center of it, will revolve around Ghana for. Because say economy no ebenyini akoni ni mu no ejina Ghana for so enti nhihyeya aban beye na etumi aso Ghana for asene ma etumi ejina ho kai na say mo cap fund buy a omo disburse it is designed say businesses ne omo even small micro businesses betumi nya some capital injection abebo omo djuma akoso. Big investments, they are receiving some stimulus package. Now, within this short period, economic business and as activity, to me, I saw more employees. I say now, to me, I'm making the necessary investment and productivity back to the normal level. Until I'm expecting, say, there will be some stimulus, meaning say, be some. Capital made available to help Ghanaians. Probably it will be across board, targeted at citizens to ensure, say, there is some kind of financial assistance for Ghanaians. Na to me, the abobra na my economy na pejabi.
Well, many economists never pay. Their challenge with that financial support is data, because if you target a specific sector of the economy. And we are running 60-70% informal sector.
Yeah.
So then how do we do that targeting without proper data? Because you end up probably doing it with an intent, right? But all implementing na kofa problem about.
And no, we have to talk about it. Because you can't say economy is so much of informal sector and deben. And if we want to do it, I think there'll be a way to reach out to people. I think we have a lot of people using telephones and things like that. I'm saying this NBSSI loan here, cap loan. I think they been more on their mobile monies and things like that. I think that if the decision is made and then target the population segment of population target then they can think around that. And these kinds of discussions will have. But I think that we can use the interoperability and the mobile money connectivity, to me achieve with that objective. But the key thing is the allocation and the vision, and the policy direction, because the economy, they said before it picks up, consumption must go up. Any penyeska or no spending economy starting. And the key thing is to find a measure of allocation to say when a person expended on Ghanaians, which is unprecedented, to be able to stimulate the economy directly. One thing I think says my thinking, looking at the policy direction of the government and the finance minister's approach so far, to be able to stimulate the economy, I think Bibisa to help Ghanaians will be in line with his thinking to ensure economy picks back up from the ground up to make sure economic activity will pick up. But as to how that will be targeted, that is something that we have to explore.
That financial might, when we are crying already, you see Kasema Kwachu because of COVID throughout Bibia Basabasa, that might to put out that stimulus package for they're okay across board sectors of the economy. Do you have that might?
Yeah, we might not have that might, but Yakakrawa, I think it will be targeted.
Factoring election year also into the whole thing.
Yes. But you see, in the end, the goal currently, I think, looking at, said Abino as we are conducting so far, I don't think the government is operating with election in mind. And election, any butaya, a so say election TNSA. And they are focused more on how to achieve economic regeneration. Economy, the bad thing, as a Kenya economy, and with election in sight and the cost, and perhaps say there will be a creative way of allocation and deallocation from certain critical places to focus on the economy, to me as TFE. And the key thing is for every economy to survive, it is through consumption. And this is a kind of core that people directly are spending. Say, for example, they have money, but because of the environment, they are not investing because there is no demand for more business products and other services or more offer. But if you stimulate or more, when we have money, we're not going to invest the money. We'll spend the money, we'll use the money. Until that kind of money comes into the economy and no foresee economic activity because almost by investing when spend it gives them indications that the economy is picking up and they will invest appropriately. That is where the economy will spark up again. And whatever we can do to be able to start the economy again, I think say Abanbe. But it's they do but the Kitwana I suppose to say that kind of injection
Okay, but beyond probably the stimulus package, I was sharing say a finance minister through the income will be dinner pay Ghana for and sharing to say the issue of buying air casse still is a package you have to journal. Me here say my estimation target because we will boom Mamsika Yerae. Me here say mobile boam in a massacre say because Sika Nami de Bidijumana.
I don't think I mean that possibility, but to the extent say the stimulus package, bet my successful. I assume say minister, then a no will generate growth. What they say a no will start up the economy because it translates into income for the government by way of tax. And the multiply effect of one city about me to Kumuno. That same one city spend the multiply effect to me by the time one city go through the economy, it would have multiplied in terms of productivity to generate more than one city now, maybe the shame. So the revenue to government will then begin to come because all the targets almost said here that's 67.67 billion higher revenue target for this year, and we can't achieve it because of COVID. And but if you start up the economy now, you will start receiving and generating revenue. So I think domestic revenue mobilization, once Saskanabania investor will create the opportunity for government.
Businesses have collapsed, and businesses are still in that line of more collapse as a result of these challenges.
Yeah.
That's a specifics. We call tourism, we call the hotel industry, Oba Buja one-on-one, informal, a lot of crying. How do we go about it to make everybody feel catered for in this mid-year budget review? How do we go about it?
Yeah. So clearly, I don't anticipate there will be any tax increase. So if there's no tax increase, then it means that the environment stabilizes. And then if there are packages, I think that this NBSSI's loan or cap loan, I think a kiki in, will start investing and things like that. But generally speaking, once there is no tax increment, the burden, there's no burden put on consumers and businesses. And so whatever resources they have, will to be and with tax, and also not tax, but interest rate staying as low. I think I heard recently a group was calling for the Bank of Ghana also to look at reducing the prime rate further down. Now, cost of money and as a cost of borrowing, form. I'm hoping, say, something along those lines will happen. And they say, then it will make sure that people are able to borrow at a lower cost. So that's an incentive for businesses and small-scale businesses to borrow and invest. Now, once these businesses never borrow, no more invest here, it has implication for small businesses and tabletop business and a small kiosk or in the boja, it has implication on them. But as to the boja for no, they have direct benefit out of any stimulus package that is targeted at the citizens. And no will go a long way by stimulating boja business. But across board, I think say the new capital injection in terms of maybe construction or maybe infrastructure work, I won't say, I said no, and I said 2 days ago, President launched construction of a regional hospital or Eastern region. Some other infrastructural projects are to be able to ensure that there's a capital flow or money injection in the system. No be small businesses and individuals no be to me some income to me.
Okay, so as we speak now, do any share my live feed from a reporter Kapudika Kachiro say spacing is very important to them. Yeah. Limited number of people, even members of parliament, and 140. South one from very limited. Media house is very limited. Into the observation of protocols, it's also important to paying for one woman. And I'm sure the finance minister Ken Oforiatta in some few minutes, it's 11 o'clock, on also na the review, media budget review, on also the Abetuja. We are all expecting, just like Richard Akano, say there are certain things we are better to drama Ghana for, both in the formal and informal sector, especially the informal sector, who feel that Aban care so much about them. Aban Ejunomo Kasiepa packages we are better to draw any year quay and national Aban. This answer COVID break umuntin baby over directing and hoarding a day afa ama 80 who the cost. Obian will show him say any a tour be cry who say a babayan command ibidi and me assure says a confessor lane him there and so on so no a idea enko ye cry Kasipa. But I'm sure we shall not find command yet with a economist ebe pim and pay still command ye dear a there should be something that will catch the eye of every Ghanaian, that will touch the heart of every Ghanaian, that will make us know and feel that this administration really, even with COVID, times are tough, but still, or demonstrate or the Ghanaian. What has come up this morning is the issue of data, say relevance to development and progress. Into San Common, so very, very key. And the body to the vice president of the land, a bold initiative to digitize almost everything that we are doing in this country. And a whole bound for so because without the digitization, I know your data once to me and into America said especially when we run an economy based on an informal sector, and also contribute to a huge percentage to a year canco and your now we should be data driven. We act data wise, and we should be driven by data. And no when child dear crown who say, aha, we as I say we call her, aha, as I say we call her, aha, as I say we call her. And also to me boy, my say, Busumi we sika beti me because we need part do 8 years at we need pay to meet years at 20. Now if we are driven by that mindset, that's where we are inching closer to the kind of development and the progress there's too much on the finance minister and now the pay. So basically, breaking your mat down. Am I that needed assurance? Say, well, even though we are not in normal times, but by the kind courtesy of God and by the kind courtesy of the administration under the watch of Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, this is the ABCD that we intend to do. Again, back to data. Data are in deciding on a lot of issues. You think that Abai effort now should so deep in more. Now you're conscious about data-driven issues. Into more development at Interbank.
Sir. Before you are not Madam Fubi, No premise. Now where moka data. There here someone okay. There we are for so that. Yes, I think there already investments along those lines. Area of the Ghana card, is one critical area. Say to me, it is easy to know who a Ghanaian is and how many Ghanaians we have in our database. Even to the extent they say we'll have a system, they can be inputted into that database. So planning and projections for development, to me, so based on that data available. But in the meantime, I think we have to improvise, and then we have to improvise because say if there's a package, I will be a question the first. Now, say for example, if a targeted some incentive to Ghanaians, a convention the befa. So what they call district assembly, even do they have data organized enough say to me identify households and how they can disperse any such incentive if say people to we need to work very hard. I hope say this mobile money system somehow unfortunately there's some kind of fraud situation. I'm not sure how telcos to me sanitize that regime. So I think they are doing well. As a apply so they ID card in the but they must do a bit more to say cleaning on my system to make sure say nipa 1 million and a one database so say more mobile money through MTN, Airtel, Tigo or Vodafone. Those are actual people. So government can partner with them in situations like this.
So people still raise the argument that the telcos are making too much money because of the times we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
So it will also be convenient for Aban to probably build them more in terms of taxes. Now, MY and me and finding a lot of issues out there because they're making money.
They're making money, but so I buy below more. The transfer comes to us. It's counterproductive. The key thing in any competition. Competition is the equalizer. Say, who say me call telco A as opposed to B because their B offer a standardizer, a cheaper. Everybody will be forced to bring their price down. What we need to look at openly and say, are they colluding at any level? Say, by fixing their rates. If then government will have to look in that direction. And disadvantage by Ghana opinion they say we don't have active consumer advocacy groups. Yes, sir. They are watchdogs that will call out companies. Consumers in they will call them out on it. In which case, say consumer advocacy group because so it means say me na me no moye adwuma no mean free omo nche na me nko A ho and I say me nko B ho. That will force telcos and I say all the companies in Ghana to behave in ways that advantage their consumers, not them extremely. And is something that we have to do. So all the civil society groups out there, we need to be active, a bit to me advocating for the consumer because elsewhere companies are at the mercy of their consumers. But Hano and Tisa, the consumers are at the mercy of the service providers and the companies. And is a very big disadvantage I suffer Okroma. And yes, the extent of competition in Ghana Hano. Company telco be tomorrow has made a send this car. But somehow no charge and the rate, the difference is almost absent. And Okoha say bigger the Majine as switch here me because Okoha say
it's
the same thing. But there is no difference in the terms of the service because consumer choice, is not influenced by what they are doing. And so you can't change because ubia mawa de fufurubia give you an incentive say obotumaka salary aye card for no. But we need consumer advocacy group in Ghana that will drive that need for companies to serve consumers. We are not being served. If you share telcos, no say the omusi onyama bibi happy o say be ko tom minute bi na say bibi o send this bi na kabu a from I said ya wo how mo bisa no. Their customer service, customer focus is absent.
It cuts across, not the telcos.
It cuts across.
Your problem in this country is customer service.
Exactly. Into no to me if you will same. But civil society organization must rise. And even government to some extent must find space, you understand, to try and get these things done. And no bar consumers be the Ghana. Now cost of services and bet me perform because you switch to another. So they will serve your interest.
One key conversation about and pay in economics when it didn't come was the issue of free SHS and the impact at Enya. To the extent that if we really want to develop, then we need to think about a country, a population, 15% literate, and that's dangerous. If you are comparing that to the Asians, not because of anything extraordinary. It's because they've consciously decided, say, no citizens, no bema, best educational level, acquire secondary education.
Secondary school.
Now, if people are advancing the conversation to even tertiary, because it's possible. So now the burden is free SHS, no. Institution so any pressure, to or minor, we talk about sustainability. Yeah. The other party also talk about reviewing it. Some thinking that we have to revisit the issue, and we have to revisit the issue of targeting, because if your money is capable, why not allow those capable to do what they want to do best? That is paying for the fees of their kids. Then the other counter argument is that no, it's basic, it's a right. If the country decides to go free, everybody void of class should also think of so I enjoy that one. Yeah. Is that how it should
It's
be?
Absolutely the same. That's how it ought to be. But till war enemy, for example, the understanding is ube to me afford it. Now miss me to me afford it. And what that does is that the sikano and kabeka obutum you would apply to other aspects of the economy to generate growth. You are putting into education. So therefore, that investment will have to wait tomorrow. The goal, I say, to me, apart from lifting your literacy level with secondary education, one of the key things economic advantage of the free SHS is a direct stimulation of the economy from the ground up. Because sikanwa nka mama ni papa yedebe ma mama yako school, all the costs associated with say a bible school, some of that money will be left in their pocket. And then a consumption because almost spend this scan, that money becomes money in their pocket. Or more, maybe more 2, 3, 4 or more school at the same time. The outcome is substantial enough to say, okay, ska we nan come to tia member school fees, but I come bottom business I may be a Guardian and Katia may tone. Aden na memfa biscuit enka ho. Aden na menche main ton katia no more na menche no more na men supply away. Announce aden na men invest enye shito empo enton. Announce me de be sobolo na maton. So that becomes capital inherently based on say a buying 80 account about the bottom. Enti wo so no a won obetumi afford it. Na a buying ama one afford it. Na won so sika aka botuko no. That money will be applied to a different venture and also by regenerating growth in the economy. And the best means are you can target everybody. Also, you can data because free SHS. No, you don't need any form of data to do any such thing. Targeting normal kind of where is the data to even do that targeting? So it's totally absent. So to be able to apply a uniform approach in the economy, now to me a uniform outcome. You cut it across board and not ubia nyabi. But the best thing about the free SHS, and then it's a opportunity people from government schools and I say the friend side too, the allocation of that 30%, they can now have opportunity to come to A class or A level schools, more or less schools reserved for students with a certain level of performance, has opened a door of possibility for a Busia Bibri. Now I'm telling you a story that somebody told me in the northern region recently, Akolebia, they didn't even think say he would have the opportunity to even visit Accra in the next few years. Had gained admission to a secondary school here in Accra on the free education program. Ama sa akolano has brought some hope
to the family.
Say akola way to me best school no sua dey apply no graduate at the network of friends are all making in that environment. A idea will carry him the rest of his life. In the next 5-10 years, that akola way what could do pempen you will realize say this educational reform was the best thing ever happened to Ghana.
Okay, so just from our correspondent in Parliament, only 155 MPs will partake in today's proceedings from the main chamber. The remaining 120 will monitor from the public gallery and their offices on TV. So it tells you we are not in normal times.
Yeah.
Mame says from our parliamentary correspondent, it says that only 155 MPs will partake in today's proceedings from the main chamber, and the remaining 120 will monitor from the public gallery and their offices on TV. So Abednego Asante Asiedu on the original name of Mashibijum. Thank you for this information. Soon, the finance minister, Ebedi Eyenkomo, Richard Anyagbe, say, Anna Yakase, I'm sure so what following from Anopana, Ebepim Sabre Yakase, your expectations, they continue to be hanging. Kopim say, Minister Becca say, you know, we are all saying, assuming that this is it. The minister should think about this, because every sector has been affected, but the most affected, Minister Kwame Nabefaswa, that's all what we are hoping for. Say, in fact, this morning I threw in the issue about freebies, the economy student in Abugumami, because I was thinking of an extension of electricity, an extension of water, but they threw it off, said Debbie. At that time, now you move to do now, we've not gone back to work. It was expedient on the part of any good government to think that once our wolf feeling but now you are back to work. So back to work, just say, now Banzo for Quine Bishop, a twonk, now they want to be ashamed also. What to be the ashamed. Into the issues of freebies there, well, it will be a big surprise to some of us. What the economists have said this morning. Say, I buy it any extension or addition in terms of freebies. What the now packages a bit to me. I saw you see our tourism sector, see our industry, see our health, our housing, hotel business, packager, him, and they say, it's a buy timidin, she say, be go a quam, and also kaka se betray, a young to so cassa. Bemia who said, no, your brain more dim, and so still, I buy we say, obey A, or the C betua, or the B befa, or the G beshahanum see. Then we can see, say, we are coming back to life. Now be a comeback. But are you seeing, say, probably after just the budget review media opening up of our pubs, our churches, beer bars, other companies are more closely, because are you seeing that we're going to open up for business to be vibrant? Are we coming back to life? Because COVID, no,
But no, I think the opening up of the economy is dependent on the COVID data. The every mobile, I think generally speaking, the standards now by enforce the world over a month for EU soon. If we are able to comply in that terms, say strictly, say, to me who say the standards are enforced. If we can do that now, we can move and open our economy back up. Gradually, say, sorry, says here, you call 100 in 1 hour. Say, the next time I think the President may address here, at least before 31st and as around that time. So address here, based on the success and the gains, we'll see, say, there will be some relaxation of the system. But it will not necessarily be, say, economy, and as a budget, that's definitely will just go and open back up. But very important to say, the protective layers will comply with. Say, comply with the non-quantia, may assure, say, the opening back of the economy will be a gradual process, but we'll achieve that. na me na wo ka 155 a betra chamber no a kwamba so ne dey select anaze wa na o choose anaze one country because me be pese ma wo
wa be duro no na ono ye kan no nti nipa edi kan a on be di euro ha ye 155 no that's it.
And the younger say 155 we obey late be an control office.
No. Sanity. It's interesting why we so the DC phone ko na ko.
Send the work kwa trouble. Your friends bra 9 o'clock
awaba. Yeah, o be adwuma. You know, that's it. And the 155 na ye adwuma na 120 the market na be.
Ah, go travel.